What's going on, Combat Sports Nation? This is Sean here with Alex Ortiz. Alex, I appreciate you joining me, taking a couple minutes after training, to talk about your coming up fight. First of all, how are you, my friend?
I'm good.
So it's a very early morning. I think you said you just got some training in. What was your training this morning?
Just knock out my strength and conditioning. I usually do Sunday strength and conditionings at about 9 a.m., get a couple hours in every Sunday and try to push a pace so that way I can get into the week fresh and ready to go.
I want to say happy belated birthday. I know you turned 34 recently, September 11th? Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. Old man now.
I'm 4 years ahead of you, man. So I feel pretty good. I mean, you look pretty good still at your age. So a lot has changed since we last talked. First time father, you went pro. How has all this played into the mix to where now you're making your Bellator debut?
I mean, it hasn't been an easy adjustment, obviously. Having kids brings a different element to the game.
It does.
You got to kind of spend a little more time at home and focus on things that are a little more important sometimes. But, we always had a game plan to live this through, me and my wife. And even after having the baby, she said, you're too good at this. We're going to work through it. You just keep doing what you got to do. And all of a sudden, I got an offer for Bellator, and I couldn't turn it down. So here we go.
She's got to be your rock to have that continued mindset.
Yeah, I've always considered my wife the Adrian to my Rocky. She's a lot of the motivation as to why I do what I do. I come from a pretty tough background, and not to say I gave up on myself often, but I'd allow, basically environments to kind of dictate where I was at that moment. And she's always been the type that would always tell me, you're better than that, and always try to get the best out of me. And at first, I didn't believe too much in myself. And I maybe had a handful of people who believed in me, and she was probably the driving force behind it. And once she spread that energy into me, it allowed me to believe in myself. And now I'm here, and there's no quit in me. And like I said, she holds me down. She takes care of most of the things at home when I'm not there. I mean, obviously, it can get tough on her, but I do my best considering I work a full-time job. I train almost every night, 2 to 3 hours. So I'm exhausted, she's exhausted, but at the end of the day, we have a middle ground where we understand each other. She has her ambition, and she's always told me she'd rather me see this through and not live with regret. So that way, when the time's over, then we can really settle on family and grow from there. But this is a small window for me considering that I am 34. So we're going to give it everything we got until the wheels fall off.
You had just fought in June, victorious there. You're fighting Nick Guilietti. I want to pronounce his last name correctly. Guilietti. Tough kid. Also young in his career. What more do you know of Nick outside of he's ranked 15th as an amateur lightweight, and he's making his debut against yourself?
Specifically, I don't know too much about him. I know he's got a solid wrestling background, some good boxing. We had similar records at amateur. I believe he is 5-2. I was 5-2. He won the Premier FC title at lightweight. I won it as well. And we both actually faced similar opponents, both different outcomes. And I expect a really tough fight out of him. He comes from a really good camp at Ultimate MMA in North Haven. I know a couple of the guys there that I've trained with in the past, so they're very aware of what my strengths are. So I believe they're going to be game planning for whatever weaknesses they feel I have. I can't say that they're weaknesses anymore. I've worked diligently on strengthening up those areas. So I plan on coming out and getting the W, but I'm not taking him lightly. I'm expecting a very tough fight out of him, and probably he's going to bring out the best in me, and I hope I can bring the best out of him as well.
You've already touched on it, but you guys have not one, but two mutual opponents, one in Austin Shala and then Swag. How much of a student are you in regards to watching opponents' tape, and have you learned anything from watching those fights, if any?
Previously to us getting matched up, I had seen some of his fights. I always kind of figured we might get matched up in the future, but I don't ever assume until it's on paper. And what I saw, he's a solid guy. But I mean, I think I'm going to be his toughest test to date, without a doubt. I'm sure he hasn't faced anyone like me. And also, we're similar in height, so that plays a big factor in it, considering that most of the guys at lightweight are a lot shorter than us.
Hmm.
As far as Nick, like I said, I expect him to come out ready.
Yeah.
I'm coming out ready. I'm putting everything into this camp. It's a big opportunity for the both of us, and it would be nonsense for him not to prepare for me and come at his best, because I'm not someone to take lightly.
You have uh, Dan Dubuque you're training with, Kenny Champion, Angelo Richardson, uh, all champions, whether amateur or pro. I mean, and currently active, currently still in the mix, vying to go pro or in the mix as pros. Reflect on how that's been helping you progress through this training camp, preparing for, like you said, your biggest opportunity to date.
My team is my family. We've been on this journey from the get-go. I would say Dan is probably the latest addition to us, but he comes with such experience and he brings such a different element to the game that it all allows us to kind of, feed off of each other. And every sparring session is different. One guy may have the up one day, the next guy may have the up the next day, and it's a you're the hammer nail kind of mentality here. And we obviously have a great stable of guys here, and we're continuously growing. We have a bunch of young and up and comers that are hungry as well. And I think the drive of having such high level guys drives them to push. So it's, iron sharpens iron. And we have a great leader in Muhammad Lemjardine who pushes us, and he's very smart about the way he approaches the game. I can't say he has the most MMA knowledge, but as far as just being a combatant, he's very intelligent. And I think Kenny put a post up recently where he mentioned that we're just a mix, a gumbo. We all have strengths and weaknesses, but we complement each other so well. So I really feel like we're growing, and in time, everyone will know who Golden Falcon is and how strong we are as a team and a unit. But like I said, at the end of it all, I think our biggest strength is that we genuinely care about each other. We're a family. We don't just bond here at the gym, we bond outside, and we know each other personally. So that allows us to really get into the mental aspect. Like if I'm not feeling it one day, I can have Angelo break me down, or Phoenix will hit me up and call me and he'll break me down. And it's just vice versa. So it creates a good growing environment for sure.
I follow you, and I know that you do a lot of things to train yourself, not just physically, but mentally. The things you watch, the things you listen to, the things you follow. How much mindset plays a role, not just in this fight, but in your overall martial arts evolution?
Well, I mean, I truly believe in the mind being the strongest muscle. As you think, so shall you be. And I act on that. A lot of people can talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk. And I truly believe in being a good person and showing genuine love to those who help you become a better person. It's funny because I try to recite it, but there was a quote in Coach Carter where the young Spanish kid says, when you unleash your light, it's almost like you allow those around you to unleash their own. And that's what I try to carry. I try to carry myself in a way that I want to encourage people around me, because if I can better them, it's only going to reflect on me as a human being. I love the people around me, and I'm always going to be that way. Like I said, I come from a pretty tough background where I had to see a lot of negative. I had to endure some things that most people probably wouldn't be at this point with. But I also feel that it made me who I am, because I can sympathize and I can understand the darkness.
Yeah.
So I prefer to be in the light, because it just feels so much better, and knowing that I can be gritty as well also kind of helps me out, because I can switch if I need to. But for the most part, I think you need to lead by example. I am the oldest besides Kenny. And we got a lot of young guys coming up, so we have to be mentors. We have to push each other and at least be examples for these guys to look up to.
Something bringing it down to the kids, something to teach the kids, an attitude of gratitude, just be thankful for the things around you and the things that give what you could give and don't give in expectation of anything else.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. I know that you share that with me, and it's commendable, and it makes us good. That's what I know. That's why I know you're going to be a great dad, and I'm sure you are already a great dad.
Thank you.
How are your dogs? I know that Leo is feeling better. Is he still feeling better? And is Titan? How's Titan doing?
Well, we just got news today that Leo came down with Lyme disease, so another battle that we're going to have to face. Titan's doing better. I truly believe in energy, man, and the law of attraction, and I feel like people have truly been given that energy out, and he has his ups and downs, but I don't fucking quit personally, and I'm not going to let him quit. So every day I go home, I hug him, and I try to give him that energy I have in me. Some people think I'm delusional with it, and I've been called weird, but I truly believe that we have an ambience of energy that we can spread to each other. It's almost like when you walk in a room and there's that person sitting in the corner that's got a gloomy look or an attitude. You can sense it, you can feel it. That's energy, you know. So I feel that if you genuinely care and love for someone, you can spread that energy. I love my dogs like my own kids. They were my first real experience as far as taking something, raising it, and teaching it how to be good. And especially with pit bulls, they have such a bad stigma. People are so scared of them, or they're prone to have this, precognitive idea that, they're vicious dogs. But when people meet my dogs, they see how beautiful and how well behaved they are. And they always ask me, what did you do? How'd you train them? I said, I raised them like if they were my own kids. Yeah. Simple as that. I put love into them. And if they do bad, they go in the crate. Yeah. They don't get treats. You do good, we go to the park. We play with the ball. I reward good behavior. And it's the same thing with my son. I took him to the barber shop for his first haircut last week.
That's great. Congratulations. Congratulations.
And the barber's like, do you want to give him a lollipop? I said, absolutely not. Until he sits through this haircut and behaves, then we can reward him afterwards. And the haircut went flawless to the point where my barber's like, well, bro, you're raising him the right way. I said, you know what? I didn't have a father figure growing up. And I want to be the best father that I can be for him. And I want to lead by example. So you got to do what you got to do in order to get that result. So I don't play. If he does well, I'll give him whatever he wants. If he doesn't, I'm sorry, you're not going to have the games. You're not going to be going out and hanging with your friends. Simple as that.
We should definitely talk about covering a fight together, maybe doing like a fight companion, something along that lines, because you and I together over the course of a couple hours talking back and forth, watching fights, I'll tell you, we will expand some people's minds on how to just be some good quality people, man. I'll tell you.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Tell your fans what they can expect when the cage door closes behind you, and what has been your vision of the outcome.
Well, I mean, this is so important to me, and I feel like in all of my fights, I haven't truly shown what I can do to my full potential. And I really feel like this is the one. I don't know why, but something deep in my gut has just been pointing me here. And it's funny because I believe in, like I said earlier, the law of attraction. And for a long time, I've had this in the middle of my mind. And to finally see it coming to reality only just enforces my belief in myself, and that if I really want it, I can get it. And I feel like this is going to be my best performance to date. Like I said, I'm not underestimating Nick. I know he's a great opponent, but he's got his hands full with me because I'm coming and I'm going to leave everything in that cage. They're going to have to drag me out if he feels that he's going to just run through me. So I'm ready. I hope he's ready. And let's put on a great performance for the fans. To everyone who supports me, I love them to death. And I just hope that no matter what the outcome is, you continue to support me, because I'm not going to be falling off anytime soon.
Alex Ortiz, Golden Falcon, Bellator 207, October 12th. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate your time. Once again, we will be chatting, my friend. I look forward to this one.
Thank you so much, Sean. And I appreciate you guys at Combat Sports Nation always showing me love. On to the next.
Follow us on Instagram. Watch us on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook. Visit us on Twitter. And stay tuned.